We met on social media.
To the girls, when someone slides into your DM, don't ignore. Ama namna gani, my friend?
Hivyo to my friend. My name is Purity Kendi Muthomi, but I prefer Kendi Muthomi. To begin with, I am a wife to this wonderful gentleman here. And professionally, I am an entomologist and nematologist. I also have a heart in development work. I support young people in impacting the community and changing the world. And I strive to create transformative young leaders.
And my name is Anthony Gite, the lovely husband to my beautiful wife here, Purity Kendi Muthomi. But I'm an electrical engineer by training. But what I do on a day-to-day basis is I found a safe space working with young people and especially focusing on sports. So I do sports for development, which means I use the power of sports to change lives, especially for young people. I am really, really happy that today we are here to share our story and to inspire young people with our lives. Sometimes as men, we tend to forget the dates, when and how, but I'll give my version of how we met. So let her give her a version of how we met. Babe, so how did we meet?
Okay, so we first met virtually. That is, yeah, come on, I have to say this. We first met virtually, and what first happened, that was in 2018, I think around March, April, May. I don't have the exact dates. And
July.
It was July, right? July. See, you're the one who knows more than me. So July 2018, and we met on social media. And what I did was I did a post on Facebook, a post that was directed to young people on the opportunities that they should seize while young, the things that they would regret, when they are old, things like, seizing the moment, networking, and saving your money, investing, having the right circle and all that. And I love writing. So if you go to my Facebook, you see that I'll be writing a lot of things. I'll be, complaining about the things that needs to be done, right? So this time around, I was talking to the young people, and the post, it had a good audience, and then it was shared by a mutual friend that, I didn't know the guy was his friend, but he was also my friend. So he shared, and then my husband we were not friends on Facebook then. So the friend shares the post, and then he reads it on his end, and he likes it. And then he comments. And then on the post, I had a shot, a Ghanaian shot, the Ankara shot. And then he comes and says, "Oh, looking good." And then I reply, I'm like, "Thank you, Anthony." That's his name. I was as formal and as clean as it can get. "Thank you, Anthony." And then after that, he friend requests me. And then he slides into my inbox. Yeah, and then he's like, "Hello, Kendi. I love, your write-up, and your profile looks good. And could I invite you to come and talk to my young leaders he was the CEO of a sports for development organization in Kitale. It's called TISA. Then he tells me that, "Can you come and talk to my young leaders in Kitale?" And I'm like, "Of course." Then I was like, I don't chat on Facebook. Please take my number and call me, because I don't do that unless, of course, it's something serious. And that is how we had our first virtual experience. We met virtually, and then I think after that we came to meet months later through Churchill Show. Was it Churchill Show?
Yeah.
There was a Laugh Fest by Churchill Show in Nanyuki, and I happened to be working with the county government then. And then I had booked the VIP seats for one of the seats in Laikipia County. And then we went out for like 5 minutes. I had been told that I should keep those seats. So I stepped out, and by the time I came back in, all the seats had gone. So, you know, the government has no issue because they can always sort themselves. They are, you know, the bosses of the county. So he was also in that event. I didn't know. And then he's like, are you coming for the Laugh Fest? And then I asked him, are you in Nanyuki? He was like, yeah, I'm in Nanyuki. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that you're coming to Nanyuki? You know, you were not even friends then. It was just something formal. And then he was in the VIP section. Then I narrated the ordeal, what had happened, that I lost the seats, and I was feeling so bad that I lost the seats that, you know, belonged to the leaders. And I told him, Ata Mimi, I don't know where to sit. Can you please get me a seat where you are? Try and see if you can see something around. And then he tells me that he'll try. So he has his friends in this Laugh Fest, the Churchill show. I laugh with the seat that he gets me. He got a seat eventually, which is good. Thank you.
Welcome.
And and the seat that he got was just next to a very loud speaker. I was put there. When I came, I was like, he tells me, oh, he puts that smile, you know, and he's like, that's your seat. I look at the seat, I'm like, wait, dude, you can't put me here. I'm a lady. You sit there and let me sit where you're seated. But he did nothing, you know. But I forgave you. You know, we were not dating. We are not even friends.
But at least I got you the seat.
Yeah, that's why I said thank you. Thank you very much for that. But
in the VIP section.
Thanks. I didn't. Did I pay?
Welcome.
Yes, I did pay. Yeah,
Welcome.
I paid. So I sat next to the speaker, and this guy is even not talking to me. He's so busy with his friends, and I was dangerously single then. Yeah, I was not dating. I was in that period that a lady says, you know what, I'm doing personal development. I'm done with relationships. So I didn't come to that event with anybody. So I just sat alone, lonely, next to the loudspeaker. And Churchill, the place was pretty loud because I was in the VIP section, and you can imagine the hall is huge and large. So I sat there throughout the night. The guy was not even talking to me. I was throwing some glances at him. I was single, but I was searching. You know, a lady has to be, your antennae has to be up every time. So we had a break. We got a break in the Laugh Fest. That whole session we got a break for like 10 minutes. And then I saw this guy was not talking to me. So I walked towards him and I'm like, hi, thank you for the seat. And I put this smile, you know. And then, ukiingia VIP ulikuwa unapatiwa flowers, 2 rose flowers. So I said, let me be nice, let me be a lady. So I gave him one of my rose flowers. How he used that information is, I don't know, it's up to him. I don't know how he interpreted the rose flowers, but I gave the boy child a white rose flower. But to me it was, you know, appreciating a friend for what he had done. And I wanted this friendship to go, you know, to go on because he was an amazing person, and whatever he's doing in his world, I felt I needed such a partner. So that was the first encounter we had, one-on-one. And then after that, we went for our first date.
Now, the first date was still in the same place in Nanyuki. And I had traveled to Nanyuki because Nanyuki is this one town you go to when you want to relax, when you want to get off work. And there was a motocross, and I said, I want to go and see those cars cruise around. So I linked up with her and asked her, hey, Purity, I'm coming to Nanyuki for the motocross, the KCB motocross. Would you be available for an evening coffee? Then she said, yeah, let's meet up at 6 because I'll be busy in the afternoon from 2 to around 5. And I think she was also busy because she had attended a fundraising. So we agreed on meeting at 6 p.m. Oh, the girl child showed up at 8:30. After waiting from 6, 7, 8, those are 3 good hours waiting for her. And she shows up with this smile, and I'm like, girl, even if this is the first date, you don't come 3 hours late. Yes, you're the lady here, but you don't come 3 hours late. And she apologized, and she was like, I'm sorry. I was out there doing a good cause. I was fundraising for a girl who wants to go to school in Maseno University. Yeah. And I was like, okay, fine. Let's forget about this. Let's sit down. And we met at this hotel. It's called the Hotel in Nanyuki. And we really, really, really treasure those moments because that was the first moment I was able to talk to her now at a place where there's no noise, it's just the two of us. And although I was very angry at first, but at least I had to just let it go and engage her. And the other thing that attracted me to her is her English, and you can even hear it now. Yeah, I was like, okay, let me hear this English. And I asked her, okay, so where did you go to school? Because your English is quite refined. And she was like, oh, I went to South America, I went to Costa Rica for my undergraduate, I went to America. I was like, oh my God, okay, this is American English. But it was a nice kind of chat.
Yeah.
And I think we had a wonderful night.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
It was nice.
It was nice. For me, my turning point was...
I'm waiting. Bring it on.
my turning point is this one day we talked, and then I was like, you know what, let me just make a very bold move. I know I'm not this kind of a person who wanted to engage her in terms of a relationship, but this friendship is so nice. It has maybe turned on to be a very wonderful time together. We spend time together, we're enjoying our time.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Drum rolls, you're waiting for it. And then I kissed her. And then she was like, okay, so what's this?
Yeah.
She was like, what does that mean?
He was so serious with me. We were all, every time we talked about, development, how we're going to do these projects in Laikipia, in Kitale, in these and these places, until I started doubting him. At first I was like, wait, is this man complete? Like, we've been talking about development work for the longest, and there's nothing like, you look beautiful, or, like what he's just saying, that I'm feeling things for you. He was too serious every time, too formal. I was like, wait, do you date girls? Are you a priest? Are you in a Catholic seminary or something? Because he didn't give me even a sign, even one. He's that guy that you sit with until you start even doubting yourself. Am I beautiful enough? Like you have everything intact. But this dude makes you feel like, bro, you're not up to it. Or, you start doubting yourself. But the kiss ambushed me, and I was like, oh, finally. Because as the friendship progressed, I started falling in love with him, and I'm the one that fell in love with him before he did. I mean, if that's true.
So were you expecting the kiss?
No, I was pretending, but deep down I was. You should have done that like very many weeks ago, not the day that you did that. But yeah, I think the kiss sealed everything, and I pretended that I was surprised. Because honestly, I was surprised, and I pretended because I wanted it. But I also pretended because this guy wasn't the person that would do that in serious business. And after that, things led to one after another. Yeah.
Almost 1 year, 2 months down the line, she comes to me and tells me, hey babe, I want us to talk. And then I'm like, yeah, when a lady tells you I want us to talk, you start flashbacking. Okay, what have I done? Then you're like, okay, can we talk now? Because you don't want to keep the anticipation, Then she was like, okay, are you sure you want us to talk now? Are you in a comfortable place to talk? And then I'm like, okay, yeah. Then she tells me, I've gotten this opportunity, and I'm traveling to the US for my studies. And we're just 1 year and 2 months down the line. That's from friendship all the time to now. Dating was like about almost 6 months. I'm like, okay. And then she gives me 2 options. She tells me, think about it critically. It's either you are with me because I'm going, or you choose to back off now. So it's either you support me or you back off. Think about it. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute. We just dated for 6 months. I just got to know you 1 year, 2 months, and I felt this thing is serious. Now you want to travel to the US and study, and I remain here and you go to the US. Hi. How is that going to be possible? Then I told her, it's fine, let me think about it, I'll talk to you. So I thought about it for one day, and then I called her and I asked her, can we talk? Now I pushed the same question to her, can we talk? And then she was like, sure, baby, you can talk. And I was like, okay, I've thought about it and I'm going to support you. She was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
You're going to support me? Babe, do you even know what this means? It's like 4 years plus in the US and you'll be in Kenya alone. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to support you. Yeah. You can take over from there.
Yeah. I asked him, are you sure? Because there's this thing about, wataachana tu, when you leave, unamwachia nani. Actually, a lot of friends were asking me, when I told them that I had this opportunity to do my PhD, they were like, sasa bwana ako huku, you are there, so what happens? Unachia bwana nani huku, and who are you going to be with her? So normally people expect that once a couple is distanced, they say out of sight, out of mind. So we had that challenge, and I actually wanted him to be sure of what he was putting his head into, because I have never done any casual relationship. All my relationships were serious. So if he was committed to this path that I was following, number one, it showed me that he supported me. Number two, it showed me that he was a serious person. So when he tells me yes, I'm like, are you sure about that? Because people were like, no, come on, unaenda we, bye, tutakutana maybe after your studies. And then he says, yes, I'm sure, I'll support you and I'm with you. And that is how that went. And I went to the US. I started my studies, and even though we were distanced, we never felt the distance, because we were always together doing, the same things. Like, I love baking, and he's a sports person. I don't do sports, but he made me love sports. And I actually had to pick a team. I'm a Manchester United fan, and he's an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal forever.
So I had to love football so that I supported what he does. And in my baking, he had to learn how to do some of the things. So we did everything on camera. Like, we share screens, we watch movies together, we play games together, we play the, what do you call that?
FIFA.
Yeah, FIFA, I don't know, PS or something. Actually, I beat him in that. He's just, yes.
I let her beat me. It's okay.
No, come on, tell them the truth. So we did a lot of things together, and that is what that kept us. And then I saw that he was a serious person, and then along the line, he pops the question, and I'm like, why wait? It's good to put stuff together when you are young, and we were sure that we were meant for each other. We didn't need any other confirmation, and I decided then when I come back here, I won't keep him waiting any longer as a boyfriend or as a fiancé. I will now get married to the man of my dreams. And when I came back here, I got married.
When was that?
Good question. I came back on 11th of December. How many days ago? 14 days ago. And we got married on 17th. So actually something funny happened. When I came, I lost my luggage at the airport. So I lost my rings. We lost our rings. We had bought rings in Florida. I lost my gown. I lost everything. So still, even with those setbacks, we went ahead with our marriage, and we formalized it on 17th. Yeah, 17th. 19th, we had a party, a celebration with the family. So, and yeah, here I am with
20 days
the love of my life. 20 days of marriage.
20 days of marriage.
With the love of my life. But I feel like it's been forever because he's my best friend. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just so happy that I married someone that I love and I treasure as a friend. Dating, especially with young people, dating is hard today. And a lot of young people what they have is actually not love. It's either you want someone because you have a certain need that you need fulfilled. People date others for money. People date others for social class. Young people today are actually full of infatuation, and in the digital era, relationships are so fragile. They're so, I mean, for you to see a young couple, young people that are in love and are married, it takes the hand of God, I think, and it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of commitment. What I would want to tell young people out there is that when I was growing up, I started praying for my partner. I was told him I prayed when I was 12 years old. I went to high school when I was 13, and weekend challenges, write a list of whoever you want, how you want your partner to be, like the qualities. And I started praying for my husband, and I still prayed even when I was 20. I prayed when I was 22, and my list, of course, it's not the tall, dark, and handsome. You have to be very realistic on what you want. And I think it's good to settle early. So I would tell young people out there that if you meet someone that makes you happy, someone that you genuinely love, a person you consider a friend, don't go for someone because of money. Don't go for someone because of the social class. Don't go for someone for them to meet a certain need for you. There are people that are taken to school, and then you think you have a debt to pay to that person, so you get married to the person, but you don't love them. That is not how you do it. Marry someone that you love. Marry your best friend, and then things will flow.
Yeah, for me, I would say to the girls, when someone slides into your DM, don't ignore. Respond. You might never know. That might be your partner.
Yeah.
But besides that, what I would say is, number one, based on our story, long distance relationships work.
Yes.
Especially if you're committed, especially if you know what you want. If you have what you call the end in mind, then you know why I'm doing this, and you know why you'll spend more hours online with someone who's miles away. Like something she didn't mention is sometimes I had, because of the 8-7 hours difference, I had to stay up late, maybe by 3 a.m. By that time I'm not asleep, so that I catch up with her. Maybe she's out of class, or she was doing some training somewhere. So it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of focus if you know what you want. To this generation, commitment is everything. Let's not just jump into a relationship 2 days, you jump into another one. Everything takes time. Every good thing takes time. So let's dedicate our time, get to learn one another, and then with time, you get to realize there are so many things you love about the other partner than the things you don't like. Yeah. And in between, you find a way of having harmony in between. And you love one another.
Yep.
Ama namna gani, my friend?
Hivyo too, my friend.
Babe, I want to dedicate these few words to you. In you, I have found a friend. I have found someone who I run to when I know there are things that are not working, and you always find a way of helping me work them out. I know sometimes I'm a headache, and thank you for being my painkiller. Yes. And one last thing. I want to have you like coffee, because I know you love coffee. Black, no sugar,
Yeah.
no cream.
Oh, yeah. Black, no sugar, no cream.
And you know that's why I got you this.
Yeah.
To always remind you that you are like my coffee. When I need to relax, I can have a cup of you and I'll relax. Black, no sugar, no cream.
Hey, Jesus imeniweza. Papi, that's what I call you. Thank you for coming into my life. You have added so much flavor into my life. You have made me a better person. You have made me mature. You have made me grow. You have taught me how to solve conflicts, how to communicate. And for that, I'll say that I'll keep loving you every day of my life. And you just the love of my life and the man of my dreams. I wouldn't have, if I wasn't doing this with you, I don't know who else I would have done it with. Thank you for loving me, and I love you from now to eternity. I love you.
I love you too. Black, no sugar, no
No
cream.
cream.
Yes.